Welcome everyone. My name is Gayle and I'm really happy that you're joining me today. We're going to focus a lot on our hip flexors and building strength and mobility and stability, and we'll do some fun flows, but first we're going to get them warmed up and work a little bit on strengthening them. Let's start by closing our eyes and just do a centering just for like about 5 breaths. So think of filling your inner body up on the inhale so you have this big spherical space inside of you. And as you exhale, release, feel everything kind of float back to its original shape. So really let the side body move, the back body, the front body, and even see if you notice a little gentle pressure downward and a little gentle lift upward. Try and let your inhales and your exhales be a little bit longer than what you probably normally would be used to. So making a little bit of an effort to lengthen them out a little bit and to really soften them so you can appreciate how powerful something can be even when it's soft. Good. Gently open your eyes and let's come onto our hands and knees and just do a little bit of cat-cow, warming up the spine. So I usually like to close my eyes for this. It's up to you if you want to close your eyes. Begin to lift your tailbone and your head up, letting your chest, your belly sink toward the floor. And then push the floor away, rounding your spine, letting your head and neck dangle. And just go back and forth slowly, trying to get as much movement as you can in all parts of the spine. So the lumbar spine, which will flex and extend pretty easily, the cervical spine, the neck, which will also flex and extend pretty easily, and then the thoracic spine around the ribs, or in between the ribs, that will have a harder time with this flexion and extension. But just see if you can kind of loosen that area up. And then shift your ribs from side to side, like pushing over to the right and pushing over to the left. Walk your knees back a little bit and stretch your hips back to your heels for just a gentle child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the floor, or you could put a little pillow underneath or a rolled up towel or something if you need it. On your next inhale, round your back and come all the way forward. See if you can bring your shoulders past your wrists. And then arch your body back. And then inhale, come forward. Start to lower your hips down. You can bend your elbows here and then lower onto your forearms, coming into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose can be really relaxing for your low back if you let it open up. So that might involve engaging your glutes and pulling your tailbone down towards your heels or back towards your heels a little bit. And then stretching the opposite side of your body so your chest's forward. So we want to think of lengthening and almost flattening out the low back a little bit while bringing a little extra curve into the upper back. So now bring your right hand across your body, bend your left knee, turn and look back at your left foot, and then reach back for your foot. Turn your body back toward the floor and see if you can gently draw your heel in towards your hip. Now, if your quads are really tight, your heel might not get this close to your hip. And that's okay. Just kind of play with where you're at right now, what you've got right now. And I like to kind of pulse back and forth. You can also get a little extra stretch if you want it by actively pressing your knee away from your hip. And then kind of playing with whatever range of motion you have. And notice how close your heel can get to your hip. Because right now, this is a passive stretch. We're using our hand to get into this stretch. So now try and remove your hand and notice how close your heel is to your hip. You can see with me, I've got at least a couple inches extra that I can get if I use my hand. But just using your hamstring muscles Now be aware if you engage too much, if you try and force this too much, you might start feeling a little cramping going on in your hamstrings. We don't really want that, so you can just kind of release, but notice how engaged your muscles have to be to pull your heel in that close. And straighten that leg, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So a lot of times people lean forward to reach back and then they can't reach. If you just lift up and turn and look back, that's going to make it a lot easier to reach your foot. So that's just a little tip if you're having difficulty finding your foot. And if you can't find your foot at all, you could take a strap or a belt and kind of loop it around your foot and pull on the strap to get this stretch. But again, just gently kind of pulse in and release a little bit. Think of stretching your knee away from your hip. It's just a little isometric way of getting into a little bit of a deeper stretch. Good, release your foot. Come back onto your hands and knees. Now, if you have blocks, it might be really nice to use blocks. If you don't have blocks, you might want to use a couple of books, or you could use the floor. So we're going to work on hip flexor strength by pulling our knees up into our chest. So place your hands down on the ground with your fingers about in line with your knees, maybe even a little bit back. And notice I'm leaning forward, so the angle of my wrist is forward. That's why it's good to warm up the wrists before doing something like this. And actively press your fingers into the floor and pull your knees up to your chest, letting your hips lift off the floor a little bit. And really using your muscles to pull your thighs close to your ribs and lower down. So if you were on blocks or books, it would look a little bit different. Maybe it could get a little bit higher. And if you lean forward a little bit more, that'll require a little more strength. So it's the abs, it's the back, it's the hip flexors, it's the quads, it's like we've got to get everyone coming to the party, right? It makes things a lot easier. So let's just do that like 3 more times, so a total of 5 times. And really push down and you'll have this reverse reaction of your body lifting up because you can't push through the floor, right? This would be a different feeling if you were on something soft. So press into the blocks or the floor, pull your knees up into your chest, shift your weight forward, and you could see if you could try and hover your feet off the floor. That's pretty hard to do, and I can't do that without blocks. That's why the block height is kind of a nice addition if you have it. So let's try that again. Pull up. You can think of squeezing your heels up to your hips just like we did just a moment ago, lying on our belly. Let's do that one more time. Push down, lift up, squeeze, hold. Good. And lower back down. You can move your blocks out of the way. Walk your knees back. Think of grabbing the mat with your hands, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up and back for your down dog. Stretch your hips back as far as you can, getting as much weight out of your hands and into your legs as you can. And you can bend one knee at a time, just slowly moving back and forth. And step your left foot in a little bit, reach your right leg up and back, and pull your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest, and step your foot forward. Coming into a low lunge. Straighten your front leg. Think of digging your heel down into the ground, and then pulling your hip back and sending your chest forward. So you're making a little zigzag. And you can point and flex your feet a little bit if you like. Listen to where the stretch is in your hamstring. If you feel it too much, like right where the hamstring attaches to your hips, then you might want to do a little bit of a posterior tilt or round the low back a little bit. And if it feels like you're hardly getting anything at all, you might want to do a little bit of an anterior tilt or lift your sit bones up a little bit. Good, then come back into your low lunge. Reach your arms up. And think of opening up through your chest, opening up through your heart. And bring your hands back down, step back into your down dog. So you can step your right foot in a little bit, reach your left leg up, reach back, 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 and then hug your heel in towards your hip, hug your knee in towards your chest, shift your weight forward, and straighten your leg to step forward. Lower your back knee down. Straighten the front leg. We'll work on opening up the hamstrings a little bit. So we worked on the quads, now we'll work on the hamstrings. We worked on strengthening the hip flexors. And just be gentle and curious with yourself. Good. Come back into your low lunge, reach your arms up. Nice big open heart, open stretch. And bring your hands back down. Step back to your down dog. Come up onto your tiptoes and walk your feet forward to your hands. Lift and spread your toes. Give your booty a little shake. And rise all the way up to stand. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just take a moment to slow down, connect with your breath, connect with the earth. The earth that's going to be, well, that's always supporting us, right? That's always kind of gravity's pulling us down. So we want to connect with that gravity, and at the same time, we kind of want to lift out of it as well. So now reach your arms back, and as you reach your arms up, pull your left knee up and squeeze it into your chest, into your ribs as much as you can. And then stretch your leg back as you reach your upper body forward, coming into a variation of Warrior 3. Keep the shoulders nice and lifted, the ribs lifted. And bend your knee. Start to squeeze up, hugging that knee in towards your chest. And reach back into Warrior 3. Keep the shoulders nice and open. And one more time. This time we're just gonna squeeze that knee up, squeeze it in, and release your foot, release your arms. So let's try the same thing on the other side, and then we'll do a little more movement, and this will just be kind of a quick, fun practice to kind of get the juices flowing and work on your balance and your like overall body awareness and strength. So as you inhale, reach your arms up, pull your right knee up, nice and strong, tightly in towards your chest, and then start to reach your leg back, reach your arms back. Keep the shoulders lifted, the ribs lifted, coming into your Warrior 3. And again, bend the back knee, pull it up, squeeze it into your chest, and reach back. Full extension. Last one. Pull up. I think we just did 2.5 on the other side. Squeeze your knee in and lower down. Release. So I'm going to make a little more room here. So you can watch the first one or you can move with me. It's really up to you. But we're going to pull our knee up, step forward a little bit, and step back into crescent lunge. So on your next inhale, pull your knee up nice and strong, and then reach back with your foot coming into crescent lunge. So you don't have to hurry this up, just take some time to feel nice, to find your balance, and then lean forward into your front foot, pull your knee up, and step your front foot forward. Not too far, just like a little step. Now you can lift the back heel up or you can keep it down, but lean forward a little bit. And then you're gonna press off this front foot, pull your knee back up, and step it back. Crescent lunge. We'll do that 2 more times. So lean forward, pull your knee up, squeeze it up nice and tight as you can, and step it forward. Keep the back heel down or lifted, and push off your front foot. Squeeze your knee up, and step back. crescent lunge. And this time we're going to step forward into warrior three, just like we just did a moment ago. So step forward, or lean forward and reach the back leg up. If you want, you can reach your arms out to the side and then maybe even reach them forward. Pull the back knee up in toward your chest. And lower your knee down, lower your arms down. Just kind of shake it out for a little bit. And do the same thing on the other side. If I can remember the whole sequence. Let's see. So inhale, squeeze your knee up, squeeze your arm up, and then we're gonna just step forward a little bit, leaning forward, and press back, pull the knee up, step it back, crescent lunge. Take it nice and slow, really connect into the earth energy, and then lean forward, squeeze that knee up just like we were practicing earlier, and step it forward just a little bit. Lean forward into that front foot, and press off, pull your knee up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Slowly extend and step it back. 2 more times. Lean forward, pull your knee up, nice and tight. Step it forward, lean forward, press off your front foot. I cheated a little bit that time. I dragged my foot back, squeeze in, and step it back. And that's okay, you know, it's like every day is different, every movement is different, even though they're kind of the same. And then lean forward, pull up, step forward, push off your foot, squeeze your knee up, and we'll come into warrior three this time. Whoa. Okay, we'll come into warrior three. And maybe reach your arms out to the side. Maybe reach them forward. Come back, pull your knee up. Whoa. And slowly lower down. Okay, and just kind of shake things out. So you watched me struggle a little bit there, and I actually broke my left ankle about 7 months ago, and so I'm still working on balancing, and this is a really good practice for me to work on that balance and to fall a little bit, waver, like kind of become more aware of what I need to work on. And so it can be the same thing for you. Like if you waver, if you fall, no big deal. Just think of what you can learn from it. What is your body telling you? And, you know, enjoy the process. So let's come into a squat. And lower your hips all the way to the floor. Roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. And open your arms out to the side, and we'll just do a gentle twist over to the right. Let your whole body relax. You can turn your head to the left. And just hang out here with your breath, enjoying the rest after the work. And drive your left hip back down to pull your knees up and twist over to the left. Turn your head to the right. And let everything relax here. We'll just stay here another breath or two. And pull your right hip back down to the ground. Place your feet down about hip distance apart. Bring your arms by your sides. And we'll just do little bridge pose stretches. So press into your feet, let your hips lift up, reach your arms over your head. And then slowly, as you begin to lower your hips down, move your arms back down by your sides. And push into your feet, hug your knees in towards each other. Reach your hips up, reach your back ribs up, stretch your arms over your head, and then slowly start to lower your lower body and your arms down by your side. One more time, press down, lift up, reach back. Maybe we'll hold this one for a couple of breaths. Squeeze those knees in, press down through the feet. And then slowly let everything come back to earth. Hug your knees into your chest and bring your knees a little wider than your ribs. You can hold the back of your thighs to pull your knees a little closer to your ribs. Flex your feet. And then just start to reach your hands up and keep your shoulders on the floor. Now, if you can reach your feet with your shoulders on the floor, go for that. If your shoulders start to pull up like this, then maybe just hold a little bit lower. And just gently rock side to side in your happy baby. And release your feet. Then stretch out. This is a short practice, so we'll do a short savasana. You're welcome to stay here longer, but we'll just stay here for about 5 or 6 slow, easy breaths. And then try not to skip savasana, even if it's like a minute. It just gives your nervous system a chance to wind down and prepare you for being calm and relaxed. Because we really are meant to spend more time in our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, rather than the fight or flight. But sometimes we seem to get it reversed. And begin to stretch out your fingers and toes, your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, bend your knees and gently roll to your side. And just pause here for a breath or two. And slowly use your hands to gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope you feel energized and revised and like really maybe a little more connected to this miraculous body that we live in. And I would really appreciate it if you would share this with your friends. Leave a comment for me below. Let me know like how you felt after this practice, if it brought up any questions for you, and let me know like what you would like me to share with you from my yoga practice, from actually the universality of yoga, but just something that you might want to work on, whether it's feeling more relaxed or building more strength or working on your feet or whatever it might be. So again, thank you for joining me. Namaste.